So we're recording for those kids who are gone today. We're going to be drawing a seahorse similar to this one. My whole page doesn't fit on the screen since it's a big piece of paper, but I'll kind of shift it around as we need to. So what we're going to do, this looks like a tricky thing to draw, but I think if you guys pay close attention, we should be okay. What I want to try to do is do the head first, and then we'll create the body from there, okay? So when I'm looking at my page, my head takes up about 1/3 of my page. So like if you look, I have a brand new pencil. This kind of gives you an idea of placement on your page, okay? So the length of a pencil is a little bit longer than where my head is going to be, okay? Does that give you an idea on proportion? So you kind of know? All right, then what we're going to do is we're going to start with this little curvy line at the top of my seahorse's head. That's going to be our first step. So I'm going to come, this is about center of my page, so I'm going to come off to the right just a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make, this is going to be a good art term, are you ready for it? I'm going to make a swoop. And it's going to come down for my forehead. Okay, do you need me to draw darker or can you see that okay? Nobody's going to answer me?
I can see it.
Okay. All right, everybody has that forehead part? So it's going to curve into the nose part of our seahorse. I've got a lot of bumpy lines going on for this, so I'm not doing a lot of straight lines here because my seahorse is going to have a lot of variation. And I'm just kind of making that mouth area or the muzzle area. It's going to come back and I'm going to have another one of those art terms, swoops, that come down underneath. Okay, I'm just going to leave this here for a second so you guys can kind of get caught up. I'm going to bring my other one in beside it so you see where we're at. And you're going to notice that they are not exactly the same, and that's okay. They do not have to be exactly the same, so I don't expect yours to look just like mine. Swoop, I'm hearing the art words back there. You guys need more time? Okay. Okay, so our next step is going to be just to kind of finish off the little head area. So right here where I started that swoop, I'm going to bring back almost kind of like some spikes like what we put on our dragons when we made them. I'm just going to kind of add some little zigzags. They can look like fire if you want to call it fire, but I'm just kind of making those spikes come out and around in different ways to finish off the head. And once again, yours does not have to look just like mine. Maybe you want to have more rounded ends instead of pointed ends, and that's okay. While you're waiting for friends to catch up, you can actually draw an eyeball on your seahorse. It's just going to be a circle with a smaller circle inside. And then I even did another one inside of mine. So, and once again, the eyeball can have some variation. It does not have to look exactly like mine. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do on mine is I'm going to draw kind of a fin coming up. So from that original swoop, I'm just going to come up with a line. And then this is where it kind of looks like a bat wing. So I'm going to do a bat wing up, another curved line for a bat wing back, and another curved line for a bat wing. And then I'm just going to put a little edge there. And then some lines coming in. This is just detail work, nothing too fancy. I will. Okay, so once you have your head going, the next thing that we're going to do, I'm going to bring my sample back over. The next thing that we're going to do is add all of these, once again, swoops that come around the back side of the head. Okay, so that's going to be our next part. And then those are going to come down. I'm going to slide this up so you can see. This is where my seahorse's tummy is. But back here where all those swoops were, we're even going to put a little fin on the back, okay? So that's kind of what we're aiming for next. So right here at the top of the little fin that we drew at the back of the head, that's where we're going to start some of those crazy swoops that come around the back. These are going to go in all different directions. Yours do not have to look exactly like mine, okay? So here I go. I'm just going to kind of go with it. I am trying to draw a little bit darker so you can see it on the screen. But if you guys want to draw kind of light in case you need to erase anything, that is fine. You're going to notice that some of mine are bigger and some of them are smaller. Okay, I'm going to slide that up so you can see. Okay. Once I get to this part here, I have a long one, and then I'm just going to kind of come in for a few smaller ones. Once again, just curvy little lines. And then this is where my fin is going to come out. I'm going to slide my paper up so you can see. Okay. So this is going to be the fin to my seahorse, and then I'm just going to kind of bring some little lines in. There's no right or wrong way for this. I'm just doing some shorter lines right around the edges, just to distinguish that that's the fin. Okay. Sample. Okay, so on the sample, we're just going to start down here kind of on the chin, or on the neck chin area, and draw this part to the tummy. So that will be next. So I'm back to my drawing with you guys. I'm going to start about right here, and I'm just going to do a few little lines coming in, and then when I come out for his tummy, I'm going to do some bumps. I'm going to slide it up so you can see. Wish my screen would pick up more space, and then it's just going to come in for the tail area, and that tail's going to curve in. I'm going to slide it up again. Can you see it? Oops, my pencil went crazy. Let me erase a little bit. And if yours doesn't fit all on the page, don't sweat it. It's not a big deal. So like if your tail falls off the bottom of the paper, that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can hold my camera up a little higher so you can get a full picture of what that looks like, or a better picture of what that looks like. Does that kind of help a little bit so you can see the whole thing? Okay, I'm going to set that back down. Sure, I will. I'm going to slide it up so you guys can see the part where the tail was. All right, I'm going to slide my sample over, and we're going to go back to the one that we're currently drawing. Now we're going to start adding some detail work to it. So what I'm going to do up here behind the head, I am going to start adding just a few little, I don't even know what you call them on a seahorse. I don't know, like a backbone. I don't know what you would call this, but we're going to add this section here for detail, and then we'll add some of these little spiky things coming out the back, okay? So I'm going to set that one over here. Up here, I'm just going to kind of make bumpy lines is what I'm doing. So I've got a curve going on and another curve, and I'm just taking this all the way down the back. I hear kids whispering that we're going to have problems. I don't think that we're going to have problems. I'm optimistic. Okay, so once I've got one side going all the way down, and you'll notice I went clear down towards the tail, then I'm just going to try to start making the other side to that. So I'm going to come here, and I'm just going to do the same kind of bumps that I did before. Let's slide this up so you can see. Okay. Do you want me to slide it up so you can see the bottom? I just kind of stopped right at the tail. And then I'm just going to kind of curve this line into the tail. So it looks a little different than my sample one. I'm not going to lie, they're not the same. That's okay. They don't have to be. Because remember, I said that not all seahorses look the same. Okay, so then I'm going to come back up to the top, and I'm just going to kind of connect those bumps that I drew so they look like sections. So each of them are kind of looking like they're beaded together almost. Jay, how's it coming?
Pretty good.
Good. All right, so I'm just connecting each of these sections all the way down. Like so. Okay, I'm going to set that there for you to see. Do you want me to lift up the camera again so you can see the whole thing? No answers? I'll do it anyway then, I guess. And it gives you a full view. And once again, if you look at my sample one beside it, you're going to see they're not exactly the same. And that's okay. This little guy had too many donuts, so it looks like. Towards the tail?
Mine looks like nothing.
So I'll put both of my samples up there so you can see the tails.
Mine has more than what is wrong. Mine stopped eating like a month ago.
Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is add just a few spikes coming out the back. So right here I'm going to do a spike coming out. These can be long ones, they could be shorter ones. They're just for detail work, okay? So you can make them pointy, you can make them curvy. I'm going to slide this up again so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. And then on the tummy, we're just going to bring kind of like little ribs, I guess, coming from the tummy, those curves, into what I was calling that backbone earlier. Okay.
Mine doesn't have like a...
Okay, your next step, I believe that gives us a complete drawing. So I'm going to hold up my camera again so you can hopefully see all of this little guy, maybe. Okay, so there's our seahorse. Your next step is to lightly erase the pencil lines so they don't all show, okay? If you want to give if you want to give it a little mouth, you can. I didn't do a lot of detail on the face of mine, so if you feel like there's things you want to add to yours, I'm okay with that. Yours does not have to look exactly like mine. But once you get it all drawn, you're going to go back and just lightly erase the pencil lines. I'm not going to do a whole lot for erasing my pencil lines just because when I'm coloring later, I want you to be able to see where those lines are, okay? So I'm going to leave mine, but I'm going to let you guys have a couple minutes to get those pencil lines erased. Okay, so the medium that we're going to use on this piece, these are called chalk pastel pencils. Okay, some of you have used chalks before. They get your hands really dusty and dirty. The cool thing about the pencils is that they're not near as messy as what the like what a sidewalk chalk piece would be. Yes, Vash? we're going to talk about that, okay? So with the chalk pastel pencils, the leads are very, very soft. So when you sharpen these, you do not want to use an electric sharpener. It will break off your lead. So you definitely want to use some sort of a hand pencil sharpener when you're using these pencils. I did pass some out. Your neighbors might have different colors than you have, so it is fine to share. I also have a tub of them up here on my demonstration table, so if you did not get the color that you need, you can come up here and take a peek and see what I have here as well, okay? So we're going to go over just a few things that you can do with these today, but before we do, I wanted to tell you that this is just a time for you to get to play around with these pencils, this medium, and see what they can do, okay? So your seahorse does not have to look exactly like mine. If you have your computers with you today, I strongly encourage you to look up some pictures of seahorses. When you do that, you're going to find that, oh, here's a nice cartoon one. I would say to try to look up some realistic pictures of seahorses if you can, not the cartoony ones. But when you look those up, you're going to see that the seahorses can be all different colors. They have different patterns on them. So like this one's really blue looking, this one's really orange. So like I said, if you have your computers today, I do encourage you to look up seahorses and just kind of see some of the colors that you can use. But what I'm wanting you guys to do is just to kind of add colors to yours. Yours don't have to look realistic. They can be imaginary or make-believe. I'm going to focus this one for a second. This is one that I found that I thought might be cool inspiration piece. It's not a real one, but it has beautiful colors to it. So decide the colors that you want to use. Yours does not have to look like mine, but the cool thing about these is that they blend really well. So I'm going to start here just on one of the tummy sections of mine. I'm going to let you guys watch, and then I'll let you go for it with yours, okay? I'm just going to lightly erase this one tummy section because I want you to still be able to see it, but on my final piece, I don't want it to show through, okay? So I'm going to start out with orange. I'm going to go kind of right where that line was. And around the tummy section, I'm going to do orange at the bottom. And I'm trying to color in one direction if you can. It will look nicer if you do that. I'm going from the bottom to the top on mine. Sorry, I'm not a speedy artist, I guess. Okay, then I'm going to take a little bit, I have a little bit of red. This one's called Scarlet. So at the bottom of mine, right over the top of that orange, I'm just going to put a little bit of scarlet in there. It's kind of the red color. And then I'm going to make it go lighter as it goes towards the top of this rib section. So I'm going to get yellow this time. I think I have a yellow in my set. See, I might have to get a yellow out of the tub. Maybe I don't have a yellow. Here's one. Okay, so then I'm going to take yellow and I'm going to go from where the top of that rib was. Can you see the colors okay on the screen? Okay, so I'm going to do yellow at the top, and then I'm just going to bring that yellow down into the orange, just coloring it right over the top of it. Like I said, you get to choose your colors. You do not have to use the same that I am. Then, once you want to be careful not to do what I did and just drag your hand through it because they do smear and smudge. Once you get all your color on there, I might have to sharpen here in a minute. See if you like it. I think on mine I need just a little bit more orange. So I'm going to go over the yellow just a little bit with some of that orange. Just mixing those colors. And then you're going to use our famous blending stubs that we've used before, just like this. And you want to make sure it's clean. Okay, I had blue on mine, so I'm going to make sure that end is clean before I blend it. Might even just use the other end of this one. I'm just cleaning it on sandpaper. And then you're going to use that blending stub to blend those colors together. It's going to be kind of powdery and dusty. Just taking that orange and red up into the yellow color, or the yellow down into the orange color. And it will be kind of dusty. So once you get it all blended the way that you like, I'm just going to take mine right over the trash can. See if I can blend that a little bit there. Okay, I'm going to take mine right over the trash can and dump it. Get that extra off. And then you can kind of see where the colors come together. Now, if you don't like the look of the blending steps, sometimes, I'm not going to lie, I get into my artwork, I go right back over the top of it again with my finger. You can do the same thing with a tissue or a paper towel, but just kind of blend those colors together. Okay, so you get to design the whole thing. You get to decide what your colors are, but what I want you to do is mix and blend colors. All right, that's the goal of this assignment. This assignment is practice. It's for you to experiment using this medium. All right, so don't feel like it has to be a masterpiece. I just want you to get to the exposure to the medium so that you can create your own piece later. Okay, if you need supplies or different colors, I do have the tub up here on my table. You are welcome to come take from that, or you can share with a neighbor. Okay, all right, I'm going to give you some work time, and I can't wait to see how these turn out.